Hello everyone and welcome to my latest Rust Quickie. In today's Rust Quickie I want to introduce the if and else statement to you and how you can implement with those two statements a conditional logic in your Rust applications. So let's switch over to Visual Studio Code where I want to explain those statements in more detail to you. The if statement in Rust works more or less the same as the if statement in any other C-based programming language. As you can see, I have here a simple if statement. If x is smaller than 10 and y is larger than 20, then we use the print line macro to print out a string to the console. One small difference here is that you don't need to wrap your if expression into parentheses. As you can see, I can just write x smaller than 10, and we can also write y larger than 20, but we don't need to wrap that expression into parentheses. Of course, you can do that, but for the Rust compiler, it doesn't make a difference. So this is up to you if you want to use parentheses or not. By default, you don't need them. Of course, when you have other more complex conditions, you have to use them because otherwise the condition would evaluate differently. So let's run that program. As you can see, I'm calling here that if statement function 2 times with different input parameter values, and when we run that we can see which condition is met by our if statement. When you're using the if statement, you can also of course use the else statement. I have here another function, and as you can see, if x is smaller than 10, then we print out that string to the console, and otherwise, indicated by the else statement, we just print another string out to the console. One very important thing to remember here is the fact that you need to wrap those statements in a separate code block. When you don't use a code block like here, you will just get a compiler error. So when we try to compile that with the cargo build command, you can see that we have here some errors, and the Rust compiler tells you that you have to place that code inside a code block. So this is very, very important. Normally when you're working with C, C++, C#, maybe other programming languages, and you have a code block with just one statement, with one line of code, you don't need a code block. But Rust is here different. In Rust, you need an explicit code block, otherwise the Rust compiler generates you a compiler error. I'm running here now that function with two input parameters, value 5, value 25, and as you can see when we run that, the first execution x is smaller than 10, so we print out that string to the console. The second execution, the string or the x value is larger than 25, so we execute the else branch and we print out that string to the console. Another interesting fact of the Rust programming language is the fact that Rust is a so-called expression language. When you come from C-based programming languages, you normally have a distinct separation between expressions and statements. Means an expression produces you some values, and those values can be consumed by statements. But in Rust you can combine both things together because Rust is an expression language. As you can see, I'm defining here a variable fast runner, and that variable is initialized based on a condition, based on a statement. So if the provided speed is larger than 12 km per hour, we initialize that Boolean variable with 2, and otherwise we initialize it with false. And then we can just print out again that variable with the print line macro. So I'm calling here that function 2 times, and when we run that, you can see with a speed of 15.2 you are a fast runner, and with a speed of 10.3 you are a slow runner. So that's a very interesting feature of the Rust programming language, because Rust is an expression language. So thanks for watching my latest Rust Quickie. I hope that you have learned a lot today, and I'm already looking forward to see you next week again, where I want to talk in more detail about loops in Rust. So thanks for watching.